Welcome to Every Frame a Robot, an ongoing series where we dissect the greatest robot movies of all time. I am your host Otto. In this episode, we take a look at 1954's Devil Girl from Mars, a surprisingly influential cult classic that has inspired writers and artists, but maybe not for the reasons you would suspect. Before we begin, check out our robot movies. We've got our new one, Robotica Destructiva, streaming away across the globe on all kinds of awesome channels. Look at them go! It's on Blu-ray and DVD too, along with our other robot movies, The Killer Robots Crash and Burn, and The Killer Robots in the Battle for the Cosmic Potato. For more information, check out the links in the description. And now, on with the show.
Come. I will show you wonders you have never seen before.
Devil Girl from Mars, the movie that inspired artists such as Gronk and writers such as Octavia Butler. What is it about Devil Girl from Mars that sparks the imaginations of artistic and poetic minds throughout the years? Let's find out. Devil Girl from Mars was released October 5th, 1954. It follows the time-worn tale of a Martian dominatrix named Naya, who's traveled to Earth in hopes of replenishing her planet's supply of men after all of theirs were killed in a great Martian war of the sexes. Heading for London, she unfortunately collides with an airliner and has to make an emergency landing outside a bed and breakfast in the Scottish countryside. Production began sometime in 1953 when screenwriter John Chartres Mather was recruited by two brothers known as the Danzigers, a producing team from America responsible for many British films and TV shows in the 1950s and 60s. The Danzigers had just wrapped up on their latest show, Calling Scotland Yard, ahead of schedule and still had studio time booked and paid for. Mather was tasked with writing the script, assembling the cast, and preparing the sets. Mather also received a good deal from a supplier of the new state-of-the-art material, latex. Fetish designer and photographer John Sutcliffe would use this new wonder material to construct the Devil Girl's rubber costume. Total production time took about 3 weeks, with filming sometimes going overtime and into the night. There were no retakes unless film stock was damaged in some way. The special effects team, led by Jack Whitehead, built the towering robot Chani and supplied the models and matte paintings to bring Naya's Martian spacecraft to life. The results are all quite impressive. Naya's ship looks enormous, and Chani the robot is nothing less than a work of art.
Now, Earthmen, look. Watch the power of another world.
What is it about Devil Girl from Mars that makes people want to create art? There are a lot of so-called bad movies out there, but for some reason this one fires the imagination in ways far beyond what one would expect from a low-budget science fiction film of the 50s. Hugo and Nebula Award-winning author Octavia Butler credits the movie for inspiring her to write science fiction. In a February 19, 1998 discussion at MIT about science fiction and modern culture, Butler remarks, "It's impossible to talk about myself and the media without going back to how I wound up writing science fiction, and that is by watching a terrible movie. The movie was called Devil Girl from Mars, and I saw it when I was about 12 years old, and it changed my life. It was one of those old 1950s movies in which the beautiful Martian woman arrives on Earth to announce that all the Martian men have died off and there are a bunch of man-hungry women out there, and the Earthmen don't want to go. As I was watching this film, I had a series of revelations. The first was that, geez, I can write a better story than that. Then I thought, gee, anybody can write a better story than that. My third thought was the clincher. Somebody got paid for writing that awful story. So I was off and writing, and a year later I was busy submitting terrible pieces of fiction to innocent magazines." Legendary Chicano painter, printmaker, and performance artist Gronk found similar inspiration from Devil Girl. In a January 1997 interview conducted by Jeffrey Rangel for the Archives of American Art, Smithsonian Institution, Gronk stated, "When I saw something as silly or stupid as a film like Devil Girl from Mars, inside my head clicked the fact that somebody actually made this. That's what I want to do. I want to make things. There's nothing else really that important to me at this point in my life, 5, 6 years old. It's to make things. It finally clicked in my head that somebody had to put a costume on that person. Somebody had to make those people do those certain things that they were doing. I want to do those kinds of things, but it was easy for me to see that, well, I don't have access to Hollywood, so I can't be like, at 5 years old, making movies, but perhaps I can create those images on a sheet of paper." Many film reviewers consider Devil Girl from Mars to be a bad movie, but quite enjoyable at the same time, citing Patricia Laffin's sneering portrayal of Naya as one of its highlights. Naya bursts through the doors with cold abandon, and it never misses a chance to remind those primitive humans of the superiority of the Martian race and its technology.
It would take you 1,000 years to learn a fragment of what we have achieved.
I personally quite enjoyed the movie. The characters were engaging, and I thought the actors did quite well with the material they were given and under the breakneck conditions they were required to perform in. Albert's story in particular. After escaping from prison for accidentally killing his wife, he hides out at the inn in hopes of reconnecting with his lost love Doris. I almost forgot what movie I was watching when Albert is recognized by journalist Michael Carter. Seems the jig is up when all of a sudden Naya flies over and parks that massive spaceship outside the inn.
When you listen to the radio,
Spoilers! Albert completes his character arc at the end of the movie when he sacrifices himself to destroy Naya and her ship.
Albert.
Whitehead and crew went for an unusual design aesthetic when creating Naya's ship. Instead of the typical smooth, featureless disc you might see in other sci-fi movies of the time, the model is adorned with giant fins, vents, and spinning lights around its center. As for the robot, what can I say? Sure, it looks like a refrigerator, but Team Whitehead shaped that refrigerator into something 1950s audiences had never seen before. A burly-chested pop art killing machine from another planet, its limp arms and chunky legs having a segmented look similar to an insect's antenna. Its head is transparent, exposing the electronics inside, a feature that Forbidden Planet would take to a whole new level with Robbie the Robot 2 years later. Of course, the actor inside takes his time moving around, as I'm sure the costume is in constant danger of collapsing. But who cares? He's not in a race. I gotta give this one a 10. I feel like the reason this film is such an inspiration could be that everyone on the production went that extra mile to make something unique, despite the limitations of their budget. The models, matte paintings, costumes were all striking and different. The actors all seem like they're having a good time and giving it their all. Even the screenwriters thought well enough to add a twist to the Mars Needs Women trope.
Who are you? What's going on? Where do you come from?
You ask a lot of questions. I will deal with you later. Come, we will return to the ship.
Goody!
You aren't taking him anywhere.
My advice is to check out this movie. It's inspired others to create. Maybe it will inspire you.
From outer space in a UFO. She's got a robot, and he's got a death ray.
If you'd like to learn more about Devil Girl from Mars, check out Bill Warren's Keep Watching the Skies. There's a good solid entry on the film that goes into a lot of detail. Check out the article Vampire Bats and Devil Girls from Mars. John Chartres Mather, producer of BelaLugosi's British tour of Dracula, interviewed by Frank J. Dello Stritto, Chartres talks mostly about his time producing BelaLugosi's stage production of Dracula, but he talks a little bit about the production of Devil Girl as well. You can find the article linked on Wikipedia. I've linked it below as well. To find out more about Devil Girl's costume designer John Sutcliffe, check out the book Dressing for Pleasure in Rubber, Vinyl, and Leather, The Best of Atom Age, 1972 to 1980. You know, if you're into that sort of thing. I wasn't able to find much info on Jack Whitehead, the man responsible for Chani the Robot and the other special effects of the film, but according to IMDb's trivia section, Jack Whitehead taught cinematography at Chicago's Columbia College. Among his students were Declan Quinn and Janusz Kaminski, who won Oscars for Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan. Also worth mentioning, Jerry Anderson, who would go on to create the Thunderbirds, along with many other TV shows featuring puppets and model effects. He was the sound editor on Devil Girl from Mars. I can't help but wonder if the experience working on this film inspired his future endeavors. If you have an all-region DVD player, check out this 2024 release from Studio Canal. It's got a restored picture and a pretty good commentary. Watch out for the Blu-ray though, it's got some audio sync issues. To learn more about Gronk and his artwork, check out his Instagram. The link is below along with the link to his interview with Jeffrey Rangel. That's all for now. Let us know what you think of Devil Girl from Mars in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Otto. Thanks for watching. Over and out.